Hi, I'm Anastasia, a psychologist and master coach, and today I will be your guide as we dive into the topic of the psychology of the climate crisis. We are surrounded by information about sustainability, and my channel is also dedicated to this vital cause. But do we realize how this information affects us? Today I plan to untangle the web connecting psychology and sustainability. We'll dive into the realms of eco-psychology and climate psychology, deciphering terms like eco-anxiety, environmental melancholia, and eco-paralysis. You might be wondering why these words sound almost like diagnoses. Well, allow me to illuminate the path ahead. You'll get your answers very soon. Now, as the saying goes, there are two types of people in this world: those who categorize people into types and those who don't. Today, I'm about to become one of the former. So let's establish a typology that suits our purpose. First, we have the individuals who acknowledge the looming climate crisis, fully comprehend its human origins, and are already actively engaged in or planning to become a part of the solution. Next, we encounter those who possess knowledge of the climate crisis but deny humanity's role in it. These folks neither participate in nor desire to contribute to improving the situation. Lastly, there are those who have barely brushed against the surface of climate crisis awareness. They choose to distance themselves from the overwhelming influx of information, thus evading any substantial involvement. A little later, I will talk about the important role of climate change denial. Yet, despite these differences, there is one commonality. Emotions run deep in all three groups when it comes to climate crisis. Even those who appear aloof from the eco-activist narrative can't escape the emotional grip of the climate crisis. As you will see in the video I've prepared below, the very essence of climate change and its portrayal in the media has a profound impact on you. I'll implore you to watch it and discern for yourself how this crisis affects you, to ensure you don't fall prey to mass media manipulation. And let's not forget our youngest members of society, our children. Due to their still developing bodies and impressionable minds, they can suffer psychologically from the overwhelming weight of this crisis and the amount of information about it. In this video, we will start with a comprehensive definition of the climate crisis and its profound impact on both environment and ourselves. Beyond that, we'll uncover the psychological responses it evokes in us, shedding light on the emotional aspects of this critical issue. And most importantly, I will offer you valuable recommendations on how to protect yourself and your children. First, let's lay the groundwork by defining climate change. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, climate change is described as any alteration in climate patterns over time, whether stemming from natural variability or human activities. At its core, global climate change is a biophysical phenomenon governed by the laws of nature. However, recent and rapid warming of the Earth's climate can be largely attributed to human activities. The consequences of this warming are not isolated within the physical realm. They intertwine with psychological and social processes, and ultimately, human actions play a pivotal role in limiting or increasing these impacts. Earth's temperature and climate have exhibited fluctuations over millions of years. However, recent deviations, notably accelerated since the Industrial Revolution, have pushed us beyond our accustomed boundaries. There is a wealth of information available online, including informative scientific or animated videos that can show the physics of the process of global warming. You can find them themselves, and I also will provide you with some links. It's important to study them because we are not able to identify global climate change from our personal observations. It's better to leave it to climate scientists. Climate scientists who are trained in analytical thinking base their understanding of climate change on facts and data. They use their scientific knowledge to assess the risks. Analytically, most experts agree it's a serious concern, but our emotions might not be sounding the alarm bells early enough. When we talk about climate change, a lot of the problems and solutions are way off in the future and often happening far away from where we are. This makes it tough for us to take them seriously. It's very similar when it comes to money matters, like saving for the future, we usually think it's a good idea to wait for a bigger payoff. But when it's about spending money right now, we often can't resist the urge. Now, this thinking affects how we deal with climate change. When we have to make immediate sacrifices, like paying more for eco-friendly products, we hesitate because the benefits are far away and not very clear. Our brains tend to give more weight to what's happening right now or in the near future compared to something far off. So we might not be as worried about the long-term effects of climate change. It's a bit like when you have to resist eating chocolate today to stay healthy in the future. It can be hard, because we're really good at wanting immediate rewards. Let's see what climate changes are happening and will happen according to scientists, whether we see them or not. We can anticipate in the coming years and decades higher maximum temperatures, higher minimum temperatures, increasing sea level, summer droughts, intensified tropical cyclones, and many others. You can find this information in the internet, and again I'll provide you with some links. But now let's look at how these changes affect us physically and psychologically. Even individuals who aren't directly experiencing mentioned impacts are still facing what some might call an existential change. The climate crisis impacts us in three ways. Direct impacts. These involve acute or traumatic effects of extreme weather events. Indirect impacts, these arise from observing the effects of climate change. And psychosocial impacts, these include broader social and community effects. For instance, direct impact we have from heat waves and wildfires that have become more frequent and severe due to climate change. These events not only displace communities, but can lead to acute trauma for those directly affected. People can lose their homes, their livelihoods, and sometimes their loved ones, which leaves deep emotional scars. Extreme weather events and environmental stressors associated with climate change have immediate effects on mental health issues, such as somatic disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, major depression, drug and alcohol abuse. Children are particularly vulnerable to these impacts. They often exhibit stronger responses to extreme weather events and heat. Indirect impact often occurs not through direct personal encounters, but via media representations of climate change. They evoke emotional and affective reactions, whether it's observing environmental degradation, human suffering, or reflecting on lifestyle choices and purchases, for example. Now let's give ourselves a moment to reflect on what I've already shared with you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video, where we will explore our psychological responses that the climate crisis evokes in us, from eco-anxiety to apathy and more. Most importantly, as a psychologist, I'll equip you with the valuable recommendations on how to cope with these feelings. As I said before, this is one of the fundamental thoughts of my eco-being training. I believe that understanding our feelings is the key to a more sustainable future. Subscribe to my channel and visit my website to get more information. See you soon!
Mm-hmm.